Hey there, everyone. It's Caitlin, your geeky girlfriend, back with some more movie reviews to share with you guys about some recent movies that I have been watching lately. And if you are not already a follower, make sure that you follow me on Instagram at your_geekygf. And I've got some typed up movie reviews on there. I'm in the middle of a 30-day movie challenge. So if you're interested in that, you can go check that out. And normally I do a lot of unboxings, fashion and clothing reviews, try on hauls, wardrobe hauls, that sort of thing. So if you're interested in any of those things, make sure you go follow me on Instagram and make sure that you subscribe to this channel because we've got a lot more movie reviews and book reviews coming very soon and a lot of other exciting information as well. So make sure that you follow me on Instagram and get yourself subscribed to my channel here. We've got some minor spoilers ahead for the plot of today's film. Today's film that we're going to be reviewing and talking about is Me Before You. This is based on the book by the same title by Jojo Moyales. And I read the book as well, so you can find the book review in my Bookie Babe book review series. But today we're going to be talking about the movie review. And overall, I was very impressed with how well the movie matched the book. I was entranced by the book. I read it very quickly, and I was really impressed with the amount of detail that the movie included that was in the book. So let's go ahead and start. Just our little overview. The book, Me Before You, and the movie follow Louisa Clark, who loses her job and has to, she's trying to find a new one because her family is financially struggling. Her older sister, has a child of her own and wants to go back to college. And so she's not able to help out financially. So Louisa has to kind of step up and help the family financially. And she's a big breadwinner for the family. And she loses her job and gets paired through a job recruiting agency to be an assistant for a man who has quadriplegia, and they talk about the details of his quadriplegia in the film. I won't go into too many details, but this man was not always a quadriplegic. He had a terrible accident, which you learn about in the film, and then Louisa has to go and take care of him. Now, part of her responsibility per his mother is just to accompany him, make him feel comfortable. And there's like an arrangement that is happening between Will, the main character, the man with quadriplegia, and his parents. He has, and I'm not going to tell you what that is, but Louisa's whole job is to essentially make Will feel like his life is worth living. He has a nurse that provides medical care, Nathan. Nathan's a pretty big part in the book and in the film. Not so much in the film. He's bigger in the book. That was one of the details that was not the same. But anyway, throughout this employment, rather, Louisa works with Will for 6 months. And throughout this employment, they definitely become friends. And as you can see in the picture, they become a little bit more than friends. Louisa starts to have feelings for him, and Will the same. And so the heart wrenching part of the movie is that arrangement that he has with his parents, where Louisa tries her best. They go on trips and they do all these different activities, and she tries to make his outlook on life a little bit more positive, and he unfortunately does not change his mind about what he wants. And that's about as much as I can give from this plot without totally giving away the ending and what makes it such the emotional movie that it is. You can see them at a concert there. They actually go to a wedding, which is another, his ex-girlfriend gets married, and so they kind of go to that wedding, and then they go on like a tropical vacation together, and they go to horse races, they tour the big castles in London because everything is set in London. So like I said, I can't go too much more into the details without totally giving away what makes this movie the heart-wrenching story that it is. So the pros overall, it was very well done. Like I mentioned, the details that were necessary from the book did make their way into the movie. And I was overall very happy with what they chose to put in versus leave out. I read the book very recently, and so it was fresh in my mind, and I was very happy with how well of an adaptation this movie was from the book. Sam Claflin is the actor who plays Will, and he is very charming. He's a nice man to look at, and he does what he is intended to do in the film, and he just kind of makes you as a viewer fall in love with Will Traynor, and that is what his job was to do. That's how Will is in the book, and that's exactly how Will is in the movie. You fall in love with him kind of the same way that Louisa does. He's um, sarcastic, he's witty, he's good looking. And so he kind of, the actor who played him did a really good job portraying that. And I really liked that. And then it also tells a great love story. You've got, two different people. Louisa, whose family is kind of struggling, and then financially, and then Will's family, who's obviously very wealthy. And very well off in terms of London socioeconomics. And so you've got that going for you. And then you've got the whole idea of her, at the beginning when she first gets there, Will is very adamant against her helping him and against them doing anything together. And then she kind of just weasels her way into his heart, and you see her chipping away at him a little bit as the story goes on until the climax at the very end with what happens. And they end up telling each other that they do love each other. The cons of this movie is it is sad, especially if you're new to the story of Louisa and Will. I can definitely see like I read the book first, so I knew exactly what was going to happen. So I didn't, and I have that here as a con. Like if you've read the book, the emotional turning point and the climax of this story does not hit you the same way as it does for first time viewers, because you already know what to expect. But if you're a first time viewer of this film and have no knowledge of the book or anything about it, then you're going to feel some type of way after watching this movie. It's going to maybe make you question your morals a little bit. It's going to make you feel kind of question where you would stand on the issue in the film. And it's also probably going to be very sad and heartbreaking. And it is heart wrenching to watch, even if you have already seen or read the book. Watching the two actors together in real life hits differently than just reading about them. The only other con that I have is there was the biggest detail that was left out of the book. Like I said, Nathan, his nurse, is pretty prevalent in the book. And there are a lot of conversations that happen between Louisa and Nathan, like at hospitals and doctor's appointments and things that kind of give you more information about Will's condition, which was not needed for the movie. However, Louisa is in a relationship when she begins working for the Traynors, and she sustains that relationship all the way up until about the last month of her employment. So she is with her boyfriend Patrick for like 4 to 5 months while she's also sort of having these feelings start for Will. And so they left out the details of Louisa and Patrick's relationship and how it's kind of unstable. He is not very attentive to her. He's not affectionate to her. And then there's a lot of, intimacy that happens between the two of them when they're at his apartment and all this stuff, that you get the idea that Louisa feels very, not forced, because she gives consent and everything like that, but you just get the idea that their relationship is not what it once was, and that you see more into why she's falling for Will. And on the face value, it would look like, oh, she's just a tramp who likes to be with multiple men. And that's not, if you knew more of the details of Patrick and Louisa's relationship and how it was kind of dwindling, and they've been together for a really long time, like 7 years, I think, and they're not engaged, so that it's just kind of plateauing. And then she gets introduced to this guy who is affectionate and encouraging to her and just gives her all that positive attention that Patrick is kind of not giving her. And so that's my biggest complaint, is that was the one piece of the book that was really left out, and it didn't, the way that the events unfold in the movie, if you would have had more information, it might change your opinion as a viewer. So that was the only thing, that the biggest con, other than the fact that I did not cry when I watched this, because I knew exactly what to expect. But if I had never read the book, I probably would have been a sad sack watching this movie. So overall, I'm going to give Me Before You, the movie, an A. It was a great film. I liked the adaptation overall from novel to film. And I think that the actors did really well. I think it was done really well. So this is an A for me, which if you've been watching any of my latest videos, this is like the highest score that I've given anything that I've watched recently. So out of all the movies that I've watched recently, this is the best one that I've watched. I really like how it was similar to the book. Part of me almost wanted it to have a different ending, just to give it that cinematic happily ever after that everybody craves from a romance drama. But I appreciate the fidelity that it kept to the original novel. So if you have not seen this film, make sure you go and give it a watch. It's definitely one to watch, and you will, if you've never read the book, you will definitely feel some type of way after watching it. So if that's you, tell me how you feel about it in the comments. Let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, and also don't be afraid to drop those recommendations for what you want me to watch and review here on the channel, because I'm always looking for new movies to watch. And I want to take you guys' recommendations so everybody watching can see me review something that they're interested in watching. So, excuse me, that's my review for Me Before You. And that's all for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.